Hello and welcome back to Speed Freak Garage, home of power sports on YouTube. We just got our Get ECU back from Takomoto. They reflashed it for an upgrade for a very special part that is coming soon and will be installed hopefully before the end of the year. So we're excited for that upcoming video. However, when I first installed the ECU, I had a lot of trouble keeping the Wi-Fi module alive so that I could do my TPS and check the, idle and all that. So this time around, I purchased the wake up dongle from Takomoto. It's literally like, I don't know, 12, 15 bucks, and it is worth it if you saw my previous video and how much trouble I had. So I made a mess out of my compartment here when I was putting in the ECU and the starting capacitor and trying to get everything, fit back in there. So I was like, where does this go? And then I Googled it. Where does this go? No results, no videos, nothing. I couldn't find anything. Where does the wake up dongle go? And derp, my very smart engineer brain, just kind of shoved it here out of the way. It's supposed to be clipped in there. So it's this little black cap and I'm not going to be able to do this with one hand, but it's this black cap covering this. This is like a diagnostic or whatever OBD type connection port for the dealership. This dongle jumps it to trick it into thinking the dealership is hooked in, and it will turn on the power to the modules so that you can check your TPS without having to cycle the key and bump the starter and all that nonsense that you guys saw me struggling with for like 30 minutes last time. So I'm gonna put this phone down, gonna put this together here, and then we'll come back. Okay, so getting this to disconnect wasn't too bad. You actually lift up on this, because I thought maybe it pushed down, but no, you lift up on it, and then it unhooks it from that little hook. So then we just need to snap our dongle in. Oh yeah. Okay, so you can see it's woke up. So obviously if you leave this overnight, it's your own freaking fault that you're gonna have to, yeah. So it's awake. It's awake, it's got a check engine light, it's unhappy, but that's okay. So now that it's awake, I don't think I can see the Wi-Fi module, but the Wi-Fi module should be awake, so now I can get on my phone and make sure that when they flash the ECU, it didn't mess up my TPS, which is throttle position sensor, which, they flashed the ECU, so I'll probably have to reset the throttle position sensor, but, it's not a big deal. The upgrade that we're going to be doing and the video that we're going to be doing is going to be awesome. So let's switch over to a screen recording of the Wi-Fi module. Okay, so we are opening the YGET app, and hopefully it's saved the bike. Okay. Okay, for some reason my phone did not record the audio on this. So basically what happened is I wasn't connected to the Wi-Fi comm module. So you'll see in your Wi-Fi, you have a Wi-Fi comm dash blah, 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 blah. So you need to click on that and connect to it, but you will need the password, which is printed on the side of the Wi-Fi module, and I forgot to save the password. Luckily, I had the password saved in a picture from a whole year ago when the module was installed. So if you're installing the module brand new, take a couple pictures of the password on the module. Now let's say you get yourself connected after entering the password, and then in a few seconds it disconnects. What it's doing is your phone is noticing that you have no internet access and automatically switching back to the Wi-Fi connection with the best internet access. So I am not going to help you change the settings on your phone, but you can Google how to do it. You have to make sure your phone does not automatically disconnect from connections with no internet, which when you do this, it could cause problems during everyday use. But if you want to connect to the bike, you have to make sure the phone stays connected. So now that we are connected, you will see that I am getting an update available. Please stay powered. So previously when I was tapping the start switch to keep the power on, you couldn't do this update. So now with the ECU wake up dongle, we can safely do this update and work with the Wi-Fi module and the Get ECU without worrying about the power dying. So after the Wi-Fi module updates, you'll have to reconnect to your Wi-Fi comm, and hopefully you remember to save the password. So it's going to reconnect, And there we go. It's connected, no internet access, update successful. And then it's probably going to force you to recreate your vehicle profile because for whatever reason, it doesn't always detect the original vehicle profile. So you can see here that it's forcing me to reconnect the profile of the vehicle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. We've got a 2024 FE501S version 2, since it's the new reflash, a Husqvarna FE 2024 501 Enduro. And then it says Enduro FS, and it has a decently good picture of the bike. And then you can see it magically reconnected to both versions of the bike. But we're going to go ahead and proceed with version 2. So we have a clean version after the ECU reflash. And you will see I'm just kind of thumbing through it. Again, the microphone on the phone stopped working, so I'm dubbing over this. And basically, I'm searching through and looking for where I can monitor, the monitor tab, obviously, my throttle position sensor to see if I'm going to have to recalibrate the throttle position sensor. In this case, it's at 2%, which is about right because 1800 RPM is 2%. And then you'll see I'm working the throttle forward and backward to make sure that exactly full throttle is exactly 100%. And then what I did is I just barely backed off the throttle by just a hair. You'll see me kind of going between 90 and 100. So I'm making sure that 99 is a hair before the end of the throttle. And it was. So luckily we did not have to redo the throttle position sensor setting, which was awesome. Oh, and then I started the bike and just kind of let it get a little warm and revved it a couple times and made sure it was running right. After shutting the bike back down, I opted to go and check the maps. What I did is I went to Read ECU and I clicked Download Map from ECU, which then saved the map into the Custom Maps section. So you can see Read ECU, Download from ECU, and it downloads that custom map from Takomoto. And that way we have a backup on our phone if something happens. And you can also copy it out of your phone and email it to yourself for a backup of a backup. Just a quick afterthought. So when I took the dongle back out, snapped the cover back on, the lights were still on and not going off. So I just turned the key, bumped the starter, turned the key off, and the lights went off. So I don't know what that was about, but just make sure before you walk away that your lights are off and you won't have a dead battery. Thank you guys.